everybody, welcome back to my channel, and welcome to the review of Neon Gods. I am Alexis. I'm a blind author and content creator, and I am excited to bring you this review as I have been as this is the next part of the Dark Olympus series. If you don't remember, in the last video I said that the next couple of weeks would be dedicated to about 7 books ish in the Dark Olympus series. So hopefully this is interesting to you. This is going to be a pretty short review, and so it should be fun. And also, happy late Valentine's Day to all of you. Some housekeeping things. If you enjoy my content and are looking for fun yet from time to time very nuanced reviews, feel free to subscribe and turn on the notifications so that you're aware of when I release videos. Also, if you would like to see my writing, you can check it out for free on my website. I have some writing that I've published there in my blog. You can also look in my Substack, though I don't have as much writing there, and I'm actually still learning the quirks of it. So feel free to check either one of those, whichever one is easier for you. And if you would like to support me, you can purchase my books either in your favorite retailer in ebook and audiobook form, or the ebook can be purchased through Ko-fi, where you can also tip me there. And if you are interested in getting a manuscript critique of your unpublished manuscript. Wow, I cannot talk. I have not done this in a little bit. I'm sorry. Email me and we can discuss further. So without further ado, we'll have... Actually, wait, no, there's one more thing. One more housekeeping thing. I pronounced facade wrong when I was reading the description. And I'm going to give you a quick explanation as to why I pronounced it facade, because I sort of messed up. So what happens is... okay. What happens is that I have never seen that word actually spelled. And when I have, I never quite pronounced it, so I never actually said it out loud. And I did not quite realize the facade was spelled this way. So I have been pronouncing it wrong every time I read it, even in my head, the entire time. But now I know what it is. I was deciding, like, wait, something just didn't add up, so I had asked the Echo to spell it because I think I was trying to do something, and it did. So I do know I actually pronounced it wrong. Fun facts on that. English is technically not my first language. However, it is the language I speak the best. In that I technically did learn Spanish first, but I have been in the U.S. for many years, and English is the one I speak the best. But I also have the issue where certain words I haven't seen, so I didn't quite pronounce them the same way. And English has some weird spellings. It really does. And facade is one of those words that is weirdly spelled in English. So, yeah, I just wanted to mention that. And without further ado, let's get into the review, and I'll see you on the other side. Okay, let's talk about Neon Gods. So I originally reviewed Stoneheart, and I originally thought that was the erotica, because this book kind of led me in erotica because this book kind of led me to believe it was, because I saw a reviewer reviewing this book, and they mentioned this was an erotica, and I'm like, okay, cool. And so I assumed this book was that Stoneheart was like an erotica, but sapphic, and I was like, okay, fun. But it wasn't really. At least not in my opinion. But this one definitely is. But let's talk about Neon Gods and things I like, things I dislike. I gave both the same rating. It just happens to be interesting, the things I find about this book that I like. So let's read the synopsis and let's talk. He was supposed to be a myth. But from the moment I crossed the river Styx and fell under his dark spell, he was, quite simply, mine. Society darling Persephone Demetrio plans to flee the ultra-modern city of Olympus and start over far from the backstabbing politics of the 13 houses. But all that's but all that's ripped away when her mother ambushes her with an engagement to Zeus, the dangerous power behind their glittering city's dark facade. Uh, with no options left, Persephone flees to the forbidden Undercity and makes a devil's bargain with a man she once believed a myth, a man who awakens her to a world she never knew existed. Hades has spent his life in the shadows, and he has no intention of stepping into the light. But when he finds that Persephone can offer a little slice of revenge he's spent years craving, it'll it's all the excuse he needs to help her for a price. Every Yet every breathless night spent tangled together has given Hades a taste of Persephone, and he'll go to war with Olympus itself to keep her close. A modern retelling of Hades and Persephone that's as sinful as it is sweet. I wouldn't. Okay, um, I'm not gonna call myself an expert on Hades and Persephone because I am not. I know some of the basic myth, which is she was picking flowers, and he fell in love with her, and he ended up then taking her with him to the underworld. But if I remember correctly, it is the Demeter, or at least one version that I know is that Demeter was, of course, upset and wanted her daughter back. So she asked the gods, who didn't really do anything. So she did everything she could to get her back. And one of the things that she did was it was the explanation for winter. So basically, while Persephone was underground, the crops stopped growing and everything. Um, yeah, the crops stopped growing, and there was basically nothing. So in she did it as revenge and in her grief. But also when she was there, Persephone ate 6 pomegranates, and that's why she has to stay 6 months in the underworld and 6 months in the and then she goes 6 months up to when the spring and summer come in to the upper world. And basically, the winter represents Demeter's grief every time that her daughter leaves, and the crops, the rebirth in the spring and the summer, kind of represent the I guess her joy. Basically, that is my understanding based on a version of the myth I heard, and so on and so forth. There's even a version though where Persephone is she goes, but she also becomes, as queen of the underworld, she becomes a she becomes like a dread queen, almost like a dreadful queen, which is kind of like almost like a black queen, which is kind of interesting. But that's like the myth I kind of know about. And I find this interesting because she calls it retelling. I really think of this more like a reimagining of sorts of the myth, because there's really not much of a myth here. It is kind of like Stoneheart. Olympus is basically a modern setting. It's like a modern city. They have bones, they have all that stuff. And it's very similar because they even mention here Berkeley, California, which is where she was going to go. So it's obviously somewhere in our world, or some fictional place in our world. Except that they have all this like glamour, and there seems to be a little bit of magic, but barely. So it is kind of like a more like a modern reimagining. So yeah. Anyway, the prose is good. I like that it is told in both point of views, but also we have in the audiobook we have two different narrators, which I really liked both of them. I think they did a really good job, and I especially liked the way he like the male narrator did Hades. I thought that was really good. So I really enjoyed the narration style. So if you listen to the audiobook, I think you're gonna like the narration style, perhaps. So the things I want to talk about regarding this book, it I think, yeah, it's first person present. It's told. So the pacing of this book is a lot slower than Stoneheart, which makes sense because Stoneheart is a novella. This is a full length novel, and this one has to develop a few plot points, and it is a bit slower to do so. And I like it. It develops the romance that happens between her and Hades within like close to a 3 month period, and how they fall for each other. It is cute. Hades is adorable. Persephone is really interesting, and she has agency, and I like it. But also, like Hades is great. Hades is great. I really like him. And as for the themes, there are great themes in this book about sex and consent, and also like discovery and being able to, and generally communication. There is one of the things I really liked about this book was the conversations related to sex and everything, and the communication that it shows between them. Hades is always checking in on Persephone to see, hey, you okay? You sure you want to go through with this? You sure you want this? Or whatever. So he's always checking in on her, and while she's not necessarily a virgin, because she's like, I mean, listen, I've never had full on penetrative sex, like penis and vagina sex, but I have fooled around and I have done stuff. It's just that that's not the only kind of sex. And they're like, okay, but like, yeah, they have a really good conversations about sex and the way that it can present itself. They have good conversations about kink and the things like that they like, and they don't like, the things that they wouldn't want done. Like, these conversations about sex are really good. Um, and from what I'm getting, they're both bi, which I like. But yes, they have really good conversations on that. And he's always checking in on her, always trying to take care of her, and she and he has a very tragic backstory, but it makes sense. It's a good book. It's a good way. I really like these things. Like, and the things I like are just not fully plot relevant. Speaking about the plot though, things I do like are the things I do like, however, are the shoot, what were they? Oh, okay. The things I do like regarding to plot, though, we do get a little bit of the world, because in Stoneheart we're in Olympus majority of the time, yes, but we're not in the upper world. We get like a taste of what the upper world of Olympus is kind of like, with with uh um with Calypso, because she is the mistress of a politician, and we kind of get to see in the beginning how Zeus and wants to kind of get rid of of uh, um of them. But also in this book we get to see that, yes, my original assumption of Zeus, Demeter, Hera, all those are titles. So that was my original assumption, and I was right. They're titles. So that is what we have. We have we have that, and we have definitely the backstabbing. We get to see how like they do not focus on anything else, while in the lower city there is a lot more focus on people getting everything they need, people having like enough food to eat, enough everything. So I kind of like that they differentiated them, and we got to see some of like the high society glitz and glamour. So we got to see that, and there's a little bit of world building with that. So we got that, but I do think that there should definitely be more world building. It would be really interesting to see more of that. But I think we have enough of the world that we can kind of go through with it. I think that the romance between Hades and Persephone was good, but also that it was kind of like, I mean, we knew they were gonna fall in love, but like
they were kind of immediately sort of into each other. I mean, I kind of can see why they would be into each other. Like, attraction is a good thing, but they almost, I don't know, it feels it felt kind of insta lovey in certain areas while also feeling slow burn in others. So it was here and there for me. I did enjoy it though. It was fun. It was a fun book to read. I especially really liked the way that it was kind of made. So one of the things that we have is just like the deal that they made. I really liked the deal that they made. I think it was very funny. It was just very fun to have for them to have this deal, but also I especially liked it because we have Persephone who has a lot of agency in what happens, unlike in the original myth where she was just taken to the underworld basically. But in this one, we need women with agency, and she has a lot of agency in what she does, and she's the one that proposes the deal rather than Hades proposing a deal. Like, she proposes the deal and he eventually accepts. And I thought it was really interesting to to see that it comes from her, like the proposal comes from her, not from him. I really appreciated that a lot because I don't know. I don't see too many deals specifically brought by women in romance, and I just like that in this one, Persephone was kind of like the instigator of the deal, or like the person who proposed it, and Hades was the one that eventually accepted. I thought it was interesting. I really enjoyed this book. So, and if you're looking for, and if anything, the sex scenes in this book they were okay. They were not all my favorites, but again, I kind of just like the conversations around it more than anything else. But it was an okay. The sex scenes were okay. They were not my favorites, but it definitely scratched the itch of erotica reading. I will be reading the sequel, which is Electric Idol, which follows Helen. Now that will be really interesting for me to read. There's also another one that I can't wait to read. It follows Aphrodite. Can't wait for that. Anyway, those are my thoughts on Neon Gods. Have you read this book? What do you think if you have? If you haven't, do you plan to read this book? What are your thoughts based on what I've said? But yeah, I gave it 3 stars. It was pretty good. It was fun. It was fun to read. Can't wait to review the next one.
Okay, welcome back. I hope that you enjoyed that review. I believe I am wrong about Electric Idol. Actually, no, I'm pretty sure I am wrong. The sequel does not follow Helen. I'm pretty sure it follows one of Persephone's sisters. Wicked Beauty follows Helen. So just keep that in mind for the next review I do. I just wanted to mention that. But overall, I think I have said everything I need to say related to that. If you enjoyed my content and would like to see both fun and from time to time very nuanced reviews, feel free to subscribe and turn on the notifications. Comment below if this is a book you've read or would like to read based on everything I have said. Also tell me, how was your day? And how was your how was your Valentine's Day? I'm editing this ahead of time. I'm actually editing it about close to like a month in advance, but it'll probably be a normal day for me, but I'm definitely curious on your end. If you would like to see my writing, subscribe to my blog on my website or my Substack, whichever one is easiest for you. I'm still learning the quirks, like I said, of Substack, but feel free to subscribe to any of those. If you would like to support me, you can purchase my ebook and audiobook in your favorite retailer, or you can purchase it directly through me on Ko-fi, where you can also tip me there. And if you are interested in a critique for your unpublished manuscript, please email me and we can discuss further. And yeah, I will see you with a new video soon. Until then, thanks for watching and consume stories. Bye!